Ois Yosef Yeshua in Kufya Test. Ois Yud. Hey. Vav. Shin.
Yosef, you're here?
Ayin. Sisi Mishpat Zedek. What? Neshama? Yeah. I say it's Neshama. Nun. Hey. What?
Anna.
Anna. Anna. Everyone says it, or I just say it. Okay. Anna Adonai Moli Racham Hashem Yaschon Nefesh Kol Chai Ruach Kol Basar Yishi Anala Ratzon Lefenachat Haseinu Tfilseinu Avor Nishmas Yeshua Ben Ramat Yisrael Sinai. Gmona Imo V'Chazdaka Gadol L'Ftoyach La Shari Rachmim V'Chesed Shari Gan Eden Tzakabo Yisrael Ba'avo V'Chiba Shlach Lo Malachecha G'doyishim V'Taharim Lalicha Lo Yeshiva Tachas Eitz HaChayim Eitel Nishmas Tzadikim V'Tzadkaris Chasidim V'Chasidois Le'enois mezir shchinoschel as biyam etuvcha tzafon tzadikim aguf yenuch v'kever v'menucha nechoyne v'chedvu v'simcha v'shalom Ksiv yavai shalom yenuchu amishkavaisam haril l'chaychay ksiv yalzu chasidim v'chavar yanam mishkavaisam ksiv im tishkav loy sif chad shchavta l'arva l'shnesecha tishmar isai Mechiber lekever merimo salea silach simcha al kol pshav ki adam ein tzadik v'arch sheyas atoy v'leyechata ezchor loy zchiyoysa v'sitkoysa v'she'asa tashpia loy mishmos v'dashn esmoysa v'kever mereiv tuv tatzafun v'tzadikim simma rav tuv v'sashafanta leyecha siv shoymer kol atzim sheisav achaz mena l'ishbar v'yishkoin betach v'dodesh hanon mipachad rav al yira shnei gehenem nishmosay teitzur v'tzur achayim l'achyoysay tchias ameisim im kol meisei amcha yisrael barachim amein. Amen.
Sun's over there.
Sun's over this, that's wrong. What? This way. Yiskadel, Yiskadel, Shemei Yabo. Ramadi Bachir, Semich Machosei, Bechai Yechoin, if you're Mechai, Nechoin, 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 Israel. And all of his man, Kvirim, Yisbarach, Yishtabach, Yisbarach, Yisbarach, Yisnasei. Vizadov, Vizalev, Vizalosh, Vizashab, Yichon. El Mekom Chasal, Vishmatzal, 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 Amen. Yisham Rabbi, Vishamayim, Chayim, Olein, Valko Yisrael, Vimru, Amen. Yisham Brimar, V'yazisham Olein, Valko Yisrael, Vimru, Amen. I'm saying Menucha Nachoina Tachas Kafe Yishchina V'Ma'alu Yisrael Doshim and Terem Yizayri Kiyam Atziyim Es Nishmas Rabbi Yeshua Ben Ramat Yisrael Sinai Shalach Olam Avor V'neder Nadav Stuck Up Adas Kars Nishmasai Gan Eden Tehei Menuchasai L'chein Tehei Menuchasai L'chein B'Alachim Yisrael V'Steiser Knafach Le'Lamim Yitzra B'Tzra Chaim Es Nishmasai Adonai Nachlasai Menuch B'Shalayim HaMishkavai V'Naimar Amen.
Meaning of putting stones is really out covered for the nifta. People should see the people were here. It could be there's another idea. The reason we put somebody's name on a stone is to show that the name of a person is their qualities, abilities, capabilities, their character. That's what a name is. And a person's name is in stone. It's forever. All those qualities live on after him. And when you come to the Beis HaKvaros, you add a little bit to that stone by taking away and emulating those qualities that he had. And that's the biggest Ili Nishon.
Amen. So everyone for being at tree after coming. Appreciate everyone who came in the heat. Traffic heat.
Where we down? Mordechai. The house?
Yeah. You seen it out the new one. Yeah.
I wanted to show you a picture of when we were in Miami and then when we went back to Josh. So two pictures. One with Josh in Miami and one Gosh, one of the bar mitzvahs. The
Not
difference.
the pie.
No. But the difference in age is just interesting. But you remember.
From what I remember, I won.
Now you put it on the side.
Nice picture. They're really nice.
What?
Thank you.
Really, but probably take a Matzeiva.
I don't think he knew that that's what happened.
Let's go for the hitch. What's your name? Everybody has a rise.
Yeah, I need some rice here. Oh, you need a rice. I'll do it here. Okay. And Yamin, can you take this night of my family members?
Yeah, sure.
Right, Ruchi.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so can you go with Binyamin Rimmer? Just how many people are on it? Okay, so you have
Memories.
Not everything was too, much.
I'm parked by the funeral home, though. I didn't park over there.
Don't put it in the pie.
Oh, right.
I have a picture of it.
My mother put in how he convinced them to, how they convinced them to get Rabbi Lefferts to drugs, that he called all the old people who weren't really members. I mean, they were members, but they didn't come, and he told them that, they remember Rabbi Lefferts when he was younger.
one lady I remember. She was oh, then you know, I was going to call him that name.
Did Bobby Uncle me in your car?
Did you count me or?
No, Bobby, keep going.
No, it's okay.
השם אהרון, אבוא ונתן לך רחמים והרחב בקרבך כתב לאבותיך. זה גם החלק האחרון. זה גם החלק האחרון.
No, just back out a little bit.
זה גם פרשת השבוע הפסוק הזה וגם המשנה בסוף של המשנה האחרונה בסנהדרין. מהי רשעים? אומרת הגמרא, מהי רשעים? אומר רבי יוסף גנבי. כל זמן למה הרשעים פה הם גנבים? כי גנבים בדרך כלל, גנבים גונבים מאחרים. כשנאבדים הרשעים, כשעובדים הרשעים גם נאבדים, גם נאבד גם חרון אף מהעולם. שון רבון רשע בעל העולם, חרון בעל העולם. שנאמר, ובו רשע בא גם בוז, ואם קרזון חרפה. רשע עבד מן העולם, טובה בעל העולם. שנאמר, ועבוד רשעים רינה, צדיק נבחר בעל העולם, רע בעל העולם. שנאמר, הצדיק עבוד, ואין שם שם הלב. שאנשי חסד נרפים ואין מכים, כי מפני הרעה נעשה צדיק. הצדיק נעשה צדיק, צדיק בעל העולם, טובה בעל העולם. שנאמר זה נחמני ומעשים ומצוון ידינו. אז הוא הולך מסכת, סנהדרין ואז הוא הולך. די תורה לא מסכת סנהדרין, די תורה לא. הייתי שם לא סנהדרין, הייתי שם. פריסיסן שמינו, לא בעל מועדים ולא בעל מדוס, עד הולך מסכת סנהדרין ועד הולך. די תורה לא מסכת סנהדרין ודי תורה. הייתי שם הולך מסכת סנהדרין וראיתי שמינו, לא בעל מועדים ולא בעל מדוס, עד הולך מסכת סנהדרין ועד הולך. די תורה לא מסכת סנהדרין ודי תורה לא. וראיתי שמינו מסכת סנהדרין וראיתי שמינו, לא בעל מועדים ולא בעל מדוס. Jose, y José me pone para decir que no debe ser usted de vos como dicen bueno más debe ser bueno lo hago. Ani va por no por nada, va por apoyo, va por abo, va por muy va por a forma va por su va por adir va por do va por. Ave no adi no le reino es dive se vos como betino ובתיתו עם חובי ישראל, כולנו אנחנו בצעים לציין עם חובי ישראל, כולנו ידי ישמר פה ולמדי תורסות, ומהבית הכבדים יצאו כאילו לא גילי, גילי בי תאומים בחוקיך ולמען ויבוש, לא אלו נשך ביותר כתיום חייסה, וכל אתה אדוני אלמין וחוקיך, Omen, Omen, Selo, Void, when you אנחנו לא חזרים רביסים סנטו וקיים וישו ויסמז פסח ולקיינו ויש עקרון לשם שאנו משקיעים, אנו משקיעים דברי טבע ומשקיעים דברים בתהילים, אנו מלאים המילים, אנו מקרבים המילים קו מצרף ואם המילים ואנו מקרבים מצרף אנו רוצים להם בו והם רוצים דבר שורש שנאמר נתו אליהם תורידים לדברים שלוחס שחס אנשי יזורים לגמור לא יחצו ימיניהם ואני נפתח בו כאילו זה לפניך דברי הייתי בשקישים שזאת אני תסיים בסרט סנדן כן תרבים להתחיל לסרט בגבורים אחרים וסיים ואם בגלל בלי שמולסת ולקיים בספות דברי סרט ובסרט תודעה בו ובזכות כל התמיד האמרים ותמיד עצמם יעמודי ולזרים שלא יתעלו שהטרור מפי זרי וזרע זרי הדורם תסקיים בי ויצור וחיקו תנחיר ויצוף ושוכבכו תשמר עולה יפו ותתסוף יצסיכך כי בי ירבו יומךו וסיפו לו שמס חיים רק מימינו תסמילו ושור רחובת אז אני אוהב לביתן אז אינו יבורך ותאמר לשלוש
You did part of the seal, right? What? You did part of the seal.
I didn't.
Oh, you did? No, that's
סקדל ויסקדל שמי רבו דור מודיו דבואות לישחדו להחיו מיסטיו לעסוקו יסומוים לחיי עולמו ולבני קרתו דירושם לשיחית ולשח שבללו לו החלט בגלבה למייקר פולחונו לחברו מן הרוב לעשו פולחונו תשמעו לעשה וימליך קודשו פריחו מלכוסי ויקורי וחיי יכול מימכון וחיי לכל בית ישראל והגלו בזמן קורי ואמרו אמן יזבורך וישתבח וישמח ויזלומה ויזנצי ויצדור ויצעלה ויצעלו שמי לקודשו פריחו לא מכל במצב ודין בשיר עשו תשבחתו אנחנו נצדה ממון בעולמו ואמרו אמן היזול והרבנו לתלמידים ולתלמיד כל תלמידי ולכל מה דוסקים ברייט ודיע עשו קדוש עודים מכל ארצו ועשר יהיה להוי ולפועל שלמה רבות ושכינו בשיתור החמים וחיים הנכים וזה לא רביחי וכולם מקודם הרבורים לשמר והרובים ואמרו שלמה רבו משמר וחיים טובים עולים ועל כל ישראל ואמרו ויעשה שלום ואמרו ויעשה שלום עולים ועל כל ישראל ואמרו
Now they're on together? Can they see? Why are they stuck?
What?
Are they seeing it? It looks like they're stuck.
Yeah, we're kind of talking about Zaidi, so there's a lot of different stories you could tell. Everybody has a story. I want to talk more, look at the larger picture. When it says in last week's parsha, Moshe Rabbeinu says, tells Klal Yisrael, "V'ata Yisrael Moshe Sheil Meimo, Kim Liyiras Hashem Elokecha, L'Lechas B'Chol D'Rachav, V'Da'avo Yisrael, Avodas Hashem Elokecha, B'Chol Levavcho, B'Chol Nafshecha." Moshe Rabbeinu tells Klal Yisrael, Hashem is only asking from you to fear Him and do all He says and work it. That's all. So the Gemara in Bracha says, fearing Hashem is a simple thing. It's not a simple thing. It's a big thing. So the Gemara answers, for Moshe Rabbeinu, it's a small thing. So the Gemara brings a mashal. So if you come to someone asking to give you some sort of something very big, very expensive, so if he has it, so it doesn't matter. He has, so why should give it? If he doesn't have, and if you ask someone for something small and he doesn't have it, so for him it's considered something big. So basically you see that person who has something, so the way he looks at stuff is as everybody should have it. So Zaidi, basically, he had so much, so the way he looked at the world was that everybody should be doing it, whatever is right, because I'm doing it, so why shouldn't everybody else do it? So that's, I think, one thing that we see in the parsha. Another thing that see the way Zaidi really is marked in the Torah. For example, when the Zaidi used to buy Chassan Torah every year. So when it was in Miami or whatever in New York, so it's okay, the buy Chassan Torah, why not? He came here very suddenly, it wasn't working, and Shul knew he has this thing he buys Chassan Torah. So why can't we make a little bit of money off of it? So I really had, it seemed like the Shul had a goal, we're going to get this year, 5,000 shekel, whatever it was. And they, you know that they're trying to get money out of his pocket. He didn't mind, it's for the Torah, so why not? Why shouldn't I pay the money? blog is something important, so yeah, do it. It shows how the aracha that you have for Torah is every day you used to learn and everything. Another thing, the first seif in the Shulchan Aruch, so the Ramah says, "V'al yisbaish min u'maligi nolav v'avodas Hashem." So I don't think a lot of people would mekayim this halacha, but what Zaidi for sure was mekayim. He never was embarrassed for anything that has to do with avodas Hashem. Never was embarrassed. The halacha was mekayim shleimus. Everything was shleimus. It says, talking about the Shiva, they talked about that day was nifter the day of his bris. It says, in the Talmud of Chaim Volozhin, it says that dying the day of the bris is as dying the day of the birth. It says that the Kadosh Baruch Hu fills the days of tzaddikim from the day of the birth to the day of the ptira, the same day. So when Moshe Rabbeinu tells Klal Yisrael when that the day of his ptira, in Parshas Vayelech, he says, "Ben meo ve'esrim shana anochi hayom." I'm 120 years old now. I won't be able to come in and out. So Rashi says, what does in and out mean? That means I can't learn. That he wasn't able to learn anymore that day. So I saw one of the first Yaakov says that from a day, it's not only that they live from the birthday to the tira, full days, also all their days are full. It means until their last day, they're clear and they could learn and do everything as well. Today, everybody knows that until Shabbos for sure, and Sunday morning he went to shul and he did everything. It's mamish like that until the last day he was everything was supposed to be, everything was good. Everything that be good. So Hashem will hope that everybody, the grandchildren, children will be mamshich in Zaydi's ways and learn what we could learn from him. We should be zeichet to have Hakamat Shleima being under Yerushalayim. Amen.
Very nice. Very nice. Hey, you're missing. Very nice. Huh? Wait, you can sit both together? No, none of them. No. I'd like to thank everybody for coming and joining us here. I'd like to thank all the people who put all different efforts here with the meal, the preparation. I'd like to especially thank Uncle Shlomo and Taviva, that my father always had a tremendous kavod whenever he spoke about Uncle Shlomo and the family. He always had tremendous respect, so that came to us also. And my father always felt, even though we're far away, but my father always had a closeness with him and the feeling. And it should be a schus, siyum and everything should be a schus for the nishmas of my father. I just like to bring out a couple ideas that we can maybe be mechazik to ourselves and the nishmas to bring out. I just had a feeling, as it says Shlomo Melech, the Gemara says that Shlomo Melech said, or Chazal say that Shlomo Melech had a Rebbe named Shemi ben Gera. That all the time Shemi ben Gera was alive, so Shlomo didn't do whatever it was, he did something, he made a mistake, see the eyes of Chazal. But Kozman, that Shemi ben Gera was alive, he was put in line, so to speak, whatever that means. I feel that Kozman, my father, was alive, he always, we had to behave. We had to do things right. We had to watch ourselves. We had to be careful, even though he wasn't on top of us the whole time. But we knew that someone was there. And now that my father has left to Olam Emes, so now it's a little hard for us, but now we have to try to be mechazik and try to do things right, even though my father is not there, the figurehead of the family. When I was sitting Shiva in Shalayim, so one day I was there, so someone came to me afterwards and said he was never so inspired by a Shiva, So I don't think I was ever inspired by Shiva either. But he told me he was very inspired by the Shiva. He said, why? Because my father wasn't a rabbi, he wasn't a teacher, didn't teach Torah, he wasn't a malamed, he was a doctor, and his giving up, his sincerity for Torah and mitzvahs was so great, and he wasn't trying to be mashpia on anybody else, like a person who's a Rosh Yeshiva or a rabbi. That's his job. He has to give over spirituality and try to enforce it on other people. But he saw that the strong desire to do Torah and mitzvah is so great by someone who doesn't have such a position. He was very, very inspired that himself that he should also work on himself and try to grow in Torah and mitzvahs. During the Shiva, a friend of mine came who works in Yerushalayim. He tells me that he always, one of the two figureheads that he knows that he has to look up to is that, what am I going to do with myself? Am I going to learn and not, or I'm just going to work? And he said Dr. Sternberg was the person who made me realize that I'm not only going to sit and work, but I also have to learn. He would make me feel guilty that I'm not going to do the same thing. And I was in the shul over here last week, and a person came over to me and said to me, I wanted to come to the Shiva, but I wasn't able to make it. And he says to me, now he works over here. He says, when I was a boy, was not married, before I got married, I was learning in the Mir Yeshiva, and sometimes I wasn't in such a mood to learn. And when I saw your father coming day to day, learning in the Mir Yeshiva, so that gave me the cheshik and the ratzon that if he's doing it, I also have to do it. And other stories, I was in yeshiva, in the Mir Yeshiva last week, and a person tells me that I'm from Levayah. I don't know your father at all, but just to see him go up there's like certain little hill up from the place where the bus stops to go to the Mir Yeshiva. I see this old man walking up with his bag, his big bag, with the article Gemara, and I didn't know that's why one of the reasons it's a big bag. And schlepping up that thing. He says it was a dmut kazeh, that he saw every day after day, and it was machazik him. And not only now, it was in other tkufis. When my father, there's a person lives in Ramat Beit Shemesh, and my father was living in Fort Dix, so he was very makbid to keep the halacha. As a person told me that he wasn't Torah mitzvahs, but he saw my father that, if you want him to do work on Shabbos, he's going to work on Shabbos. But it has to do with the shinoi and this and that, kalachiyad, whatever's not b'kuch nefashis, I'll be masking, but it has to be within the rules of the Torah. And it made him start to think, where am I holding in my Torah mitzvahs, and what am I doing? And when this person over here who won't budge, that the Torah mitzvahs are by him, the first law, and the second law is the law of the army. And it caused him to think, and he became about tshuva. And there are many, many stories of such stories that my father was mashpia. Now, again, like this person says, he wasn't a Rosh Yeshiva, what was the koyach that my father had to be able to mashpia on so many people? So Chazal tell us, Dvarim hayotzim min alev, nechnosim el alev. Whatever my father felt was the right thing to do, he had his leiv in it. He didn't do it because people would respect him, because he didn't get respect. He didn't do it because maybe he wanted a shidduch. Baruch Hashem, he had a good shidduch anyways. So he didn't do it because of money, because it didn't give him money sometimes. Sometimes it made him lose money. And he did it because the leiv was there, and once a person does something with the leiv, and a person has to think that and sometimes just, who am I? Little me, what can I do? You can do. Anybody can do. You don't have to have a title in front of you. You can be a simple person. No such thing as a simple Jew, but you don't have to have a title. You could sit in your corner and you could do what you do. You have to do it right. You do it because it's the lave. You do it because it's Ratzon Hashem. And you'll be surprised how many people you mashpia. Now, we can't. My father had a tremendous koyach that we can't all do. I remember I was walking with my father once in Harnof on right before Sukkot, and like a couple flights up, there was a person fixing a sukkah, and his father told me it's not kosher. So I started screaming up to the person. So I ran away. So the guy looks at the sukkah and says, Toda Rabba, Toda Rabba. But so not everybody is capable of doing that. Not everybody is capable of when they see something wrong, they want to fix it. Like this outside, I don't know if they fixed it or not. The Ramat Beit Shemesh, the highway, it's dark. So my father bothered him. It's dark. It's dangerous. So he called up and assistant mayor. I don't know whoever it was to speak to them to try to fix the lights over there. And outside over here, the lights weren't working. So he called up to fix them. They said they checked the lights during the day. And the lights are working. So he says, well, the night sensors don't work. So he said, so the guy says, well, we only work by day. So my father gave a couple threats. I don't know exactly what he threatened. And lo and behold, it was fixed. The lights are fixed. Now, I don't think we're all capable of having such, koyach, strength, and azes, not to be bad like Matzeiva. I said that the first halacha in Shulchan Aruch, my father was Mekayim. You shouldn't be afraid of maligim, but not everybody is capable of doing that. But what we are capable of doing is, when we see something is right, whatever it is, it's in learning, it's in not learning, it's whatever it is. My father, he felt was it proper to do exercise. He did before Shacharis 200 sit-ups. I can't do even 3. But my father, because he felt this is what he has to do, so he did it. Whatever he felt he has to do, he did it. One day, when he was in the hospital for like 2 weeks, one day he felt better. So I was speaking to him. So he said, this morning I did 150 sit-ups. So now I'm not saying that you're here to do exercise. That's you want to hold the exercise. That's not the issue over here. The issue is that whatever is important to you, you have to do it with your lave. Whether if you want to wake up for shach at a certain time, so wake up for shach at a certain time. You have to put out the laundry, so do it then, and do it as quick as possible, and do it with your leg. Whatever you decide, whatever is right in your eyes, especially in Avodas Hashem and mitzvahs, if you decide this is what's supposed to be done, don't say one day yes, the next day not, 2 days later yes. Give your lave. This is what my father did. He gave his lave for everything. He didn't give up. Even though he was knocked down many times. My father tried to help build up his license, his practice over here many times. And he was knocked down over and over again. But he didn't give up. He didn't give up because he tried to persevere. He went again to an upstream. I remember 3 weeks ago, we were in the hospital, about 3 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, we were in the hospital, and the guy, he was inside, he came to the hospital also, and he had a shamus, someone helping him. The father says, I think if I get to speak to him, maybe I'll speak to this person, or maybe when I get better, I'll fix my license. And I think to myself, still you're fighting. I said, it's amazing. So again, where we can't fight, where we feel it's not our place. But the chizuk for us is that whatever we do it right, do it with lave, do it with your whole metzias. And if we do it, you'll be surprised. Many people might come back to you and say, you changed my life. You changed my life. It wasn't him or this, that. It was you, because I saw how you really meant it. And when someone sees you where you really mean something, it's important. The shacharis is important. Taking a smile, saying a hello, being friendly. If whatever it is, midis, whatever it is, in business, if you do it right, you do it with sincerity, you do it with your whole lave, And with this, we can mechazik, should be ill as my father, earning kaparas mishkavai, that we should grow and we should decide, small or big, doesn't make a difference. If we do it right, the Chavis of Avos says, Hama'at hazach hu harav. That is a lot. And therefore, we should mechazik, come out of this Shloshim day that we're just celebrating here with Siyam, come out with chizik, that put lave into what we're doing. And this will be a mas for my father. What?
My mother-in-law, everyone putting together the little kuntris and the suda, the yuli nishmasa, it was done perfectly, and that was my father-in-law's mile, to do everything perfect. So they made it beautiful, perfect to make the shleimus. So this should be a yuli for the neshama. For the one touch on one, but the last time I spoke at Hakamat Matzeiva was for my grandmother, about 25 years ago. And when I told my Yeshiva, Shmuel Kamenetsky, that I'm speaking by the Hakamat Matzeiva, so he told me, that was his mahal, he said, tell me what I should say. And he said, why do they call a Beis HaKvaros a Beis HaChayim? You know, it's a call for place for dead people. Why do they call it Beis HaChayim? He said, because the Chayim, the people who are alive, are supposed to take a message from when they go into a cemetery. The Beis HaKvaros is supposed to take a message out and supposed to learn from the situation. So he told me that this is what I have to say, that let's take something out. So maybe, I think, what could we take out that Mordechai spoke about? What could we take out and what could we take with us that should be taught a Beis HaChayim? So I'll take one point that Mordechai said. I just wanted to speak in maybe my own words. That one midah that I think that we could take out a message that my shver was passionate about Yiddishkeit. That it was something that there was a marshal. Someone once, a couple of weeks ago, a friend of mine came over to me and said he took a test, whatever, an entrance exam to one of these organizations, and Rav asked him, "What are you passionate about?" And I was thinking afterwards, what am I passionate? What in Yiddishkeit are you passionate about? I think that my, one midah that he had is that when he had a mitzvah, he was passionate about it, and it's based on what Mordechai said, "Rachmana liba boy," that it came from his heart. That when he came to a mitzvah, whatever mitzvah was big or small, he may be getting, a roish keves, and was trying to do this, but he was passionate about it. He made sure that he had to get the best one, and it was a competition, whatever, he got one, and he made sure that he get it, and he told everybody about it. But he was passionate about it, and it was something major. It was a daf yomi, or it was a choshen mishpat chabura, and he would talk about it, and it was. Even when he would sit by the Shabbos table, we'd talk about the whole Shaila and the whole Shakavitaya, the whole Chabura, what he said, what other people said, and he lived it. He lived Yiddishkeit. If we could take this message that I'll take for myself, take one mitzvah and be passionate about it. What does that mean to be passionate? Well, you take him, my shver, my father-in-law, as a dugma. If you're passionate about something, so you talk about it. You don't just do it. You talk about it. You tell other people about it. You show your excitement. It's not just, it becomes a public event, that if you have a mitzvah that we're doing, it should be important. And if you would miss a Vasikin, it would bother him. And his whole day was revolved around coming to Vasikin because it meant something to him. So we have to take one mitzvah, or it could be a hiddur in a mitzvah. It could be a tefillah, or it could be about Shabbos, or it could be a part of davening, or it could be a certain mitzvah, it could be a certain type of a mitzvah, and be excited about it, be passionate about it, work on it, make it alive, and to live it, just like he lived the mitzvahs. We knew when Yom Tov was coming, we knew when Rosh Hashanah was coming, that we knew that when it comes from Lulav and Esrog, that he had to make sure that I kept getting reminded to get it. When it came time before Rosh Hashanah is coming, Avolei Matzeiva, the matzahs, that everything that he lived, came before Rosh Hashanah, had to make sure that he had the seeds for Rosh Hashanah, had a place to daven, and the Reish Keves, and the Simanim. And this is something that we could all take, I think we could all take with us, and we take one mitzvah that we could have and live it. talk about it, do it, and be moist and nefesh for it. To try to give up something for it. If you made a commitment to do something, so go to all ends. If it's it could be it's a davening, it's a mincha, it's a mariv, it's a shachrit, it's a seder alimut, it's any type, it's a different type of a mitzvah, but it's a brachos or mains or whatever it is. But live it and be moist and nefesh for it. That's be the greatest. That lili nishmasay that we could go back and after the shloshim at the end of the year. Mir Hashem would say that we took one mitzvah and we were passionate about it, that we lived it. That would be the biggest leader in the Shmasai, and that for his neshama, and then he'll get the greatest nachas ruach in Gan Eden.
Amen. Very
nice. Almost secretly that we're Jewish. Thank you. But I think a lot of the passion that the doctor had, I don't know if this is where it came from, but certainly it exemplified itself in many different things that he did throughout his life, which I didn't know him at that point, but when he used to talk about Vietnam, the serious nefesh that he had to go through to keep, to have a sukkah in Vietnam, to eat shol in Vietnam, to keep kosher, to keep sane, and that sort of it groomed him for the passion, the passionating about mitzvahs, which obviously I assume he had it before Vietnam too, because he grew up on the east side and he's a real east sider, and but definitely it had to do with it. And I was saying I was telling Mordechai in the car on the way here that it's not a shiloh by me that HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent him to Miami to establish a mikveh and a Beis Yaakov. Because in an out-of-town place where people live Judaism like Agav, the rest of the American dream, it takes somebody who has that passionate enthusiasm to do things the best way, to make it the most kosher. And it wasn't easy building that mikveh. There were so many difficulties they had to redo it, and there were issues. But it took perseverance and passionate, seeing something through to the end. Like he wanted to do with his license here, even though he didn't get a chance to. But he was going to see it through to the end, until the last weeks he was talking about it. And that's really, we say, so we know that now, Dr. Sternberg is the Olam HaEmes, where everything is really emes, and the Amud Shikr was something that disturbed him to no end. When he would see Sheker, it was just like he just couldn't be there. He couldn't handle it. And we spell that Teinu Shvos Yitzur Yitzur Achayim, and we should remember him and take the lessons that the children spoke about and try to internalize it in our own life. And the people on the 417 used to hear about Al Chabur also. Anybody he met. I would meet somebody on the 417 who said, "Oh, you learn with Sternberg." I sat next to him on the 417. He was telling me what I'm learning because he was impassionated. He was excited, and when he was excited, unless the bus driver didn't let him talk about it, then he had to move to the back of the bus. And it was something that he lived it. He lived everything to the max, and Baruch Hashem, he left a beautiful mishpacha. He was mamshach b'drochav. And should be a for his neshama, I'm sure that it's a nachas ruach that should continue in his darchei Hashem, to be passionate about everything that we do, and to be excited and do it with excitement. And he should be a me'eretz yoshev, mishpacha, and all the mikurom.
So that's that's really what I'd like to speak about. The passion everybody's heard from all the speakers. From the beginning of our Chaim, Tovlei Mishnah Tamid, the end. Right? It's always that's the tzmidas that was already spoken about. I just want to mention one thing that I guess amongst close people you could talk like this. Like we said, the passion about mitzvos was was spoken about. I want to mention something. The passion about not being able to do something at its fullest. You know, a mitzvah can be very exciting. A Rosh Kevas can be very exciting. And you get impassioned about it. You can be, you know, have a burning desire to get a lula, get an esrog, do mitzvahs ba'aretz. Everybody has their shorish neshama. The mitzvahs that are mishtayech, you know, b'miuchad neshama, and that propels a person. A person who, like was said before, who has a lave, the person's in touch with his mind, his heart, is passionate by that. I'd like to speak about just one more thing, and that's, I saw how Dr. Sternberg, it bothered him every time that he annoyed Mrs. Sternberg.
That's very funny.
You know, sometimes, you know, when you're, if there's a debate, so you have to, you know, talk about myself. You know, even if I actually agree with my wife on something, but if I took a stance, I'm not going to back down in front of her. It's just like, you know. But I saw in the morning, every morning when he said, oh, you know, she was upset about something. Right? Yeah. So there's an element that I can say that maybe nobody else, maybe other than Yamin, can say, you know, how much he valued the relationship. And that's something that we learned as teeny boppers. How we got a chinuch over the past 4 years of how to treat our wives, and that's something that should carry us further.
Very good.
I want to thank you for the very that you just gave.